Alright, nephews, welcome to Scroll 48. It's your favorite Unk. Before we get started, make sure you hit follow on the podcast to keep this thing growing. I'm just thinking out loud today, so bear with me. This one ain't got a clean destination. It's one of them ride with me scrolls. So boom, I've been sitting with this theory in my head for a minute, and it sounds insane, but stay with me. I'm originally from Mississippi, but I grew up in Tennessee, so I feel like I got a foot in two worlds, and sometimes my brain just starts visualizing dumb shit, like, what if all the white men from every southern state had to fight each other? Not metaphorically, I mean physically. Like every state just sends their country boys. All the lifted Fords pull up, mud on the tires, dip cans in pockets, and we just line them up and squabble. No weapons, just state pride and bad decisions. And the more I think about it, the more I realize Tennessee is one of the most slept-on states in the entire South. Because hear me out, most states only got one type of country white man. Tennessee got two. We got rednecks and hillbillies. And that matters. West Tennessee, that's redneck country, especially once you get close to Mississippi and Alabama. That's where some of the toughest men you'll ever meet come from. Quiet, thick-necked, the kind of dudes who don't talk much but somehow always got hands like bricks. East Tennessee, hillbillies, Appalachian hillbillies. That's a different breed. They don't fight fair. They don't care about rules. They'll bite ball sacks. They'll gouge eyes. They'll do some medieval shit that makes you question your life choices. So when people say Texas would just walk through everybody, I don't buy it. Texas got confidence. Texas got size. Texas got rednecks. But Texas does not have hillbillies. That's the X factor. Georgia, rednecks. Mississippi, rednecks. South Carolina, rednecks. Texas, rednecks. Florida, that's different. That's Florida man. That's bath salts and court records. That's chaos, not strategy. The only state I'd genuinely be afraid of is Louisiana. Because Louisiana has something nobody else really has. Cajun swamp people. That's redneck, plus swamp, plus generational voodoo energy. That's dangerous. Louisiana would probably beat our ass, I'm not even gonna lie. But outside of that, give me Tennessee. We got balance. We got terrain diversity. We got men who can fight drunk and sober. And then I started thinking, a state's perceived toughness, low-key, has a lot to do with their football team. I'm serious. College football is basically a state's masculinity mascot. Georgia being dominant makes you imagine every dude from Georgia is 6 feet 5 inches, 260 pounds, built like a fridge, and driving a lifted F-350. Alabama, too. If your football team is elite, people automatically assume you got grit just by association. Now look at Arkansas. No disrespect, but Arkansas is Arkansas. You're Southern, sure. But you don't strike fear. Same with Mississippi State. If you tell me you from Starkville, I'm like, okay. You probably drive a regular pickup, not a monster truck. Respectable, but not terrifying. Dominance matters. And maybe this theory doesn't make sense to anybody else, but it makes perfect sense to me. And after all that dumb shit, I realized something else. I'm starting to feel good again. Like genuinely. A few scrolls ago, I was stressing hard about the future of deep-fried logic. Where it's going, what it's becoming, whether I was doing too much or not enough. And now I'm seeing it clearly. Season 1 was chaos. Posting 4 or 5 times a day. Just trying to exist. Just trying to get my name out there. No structure, just motion. Season 2 is consistency. This is where it becomes real. This is where it stops being a novelty. This is where discipline matters. And now, I can feel Season 3 creeping in. We're about halfway through Season 2, and Season 3 is already forming in my head. Season 3 is elevation. Some of the stuff that made this fun early on won't survive into that season. And that's okay. Because growth always kills something. And that excites me. Lately I've been realizing something that sounds simple, but it's really not. Motion fixes a lot of shit. Like, a scary amount of shit. I've been thinking about how my body is supposed to feel when I lay down at night. And I realized something been off for a long time. There's no sleep like the sleep you get when you know you did everything you were supposed to do that day. Not almost. Not, I'll do it tomorrow. I mean, you moved. You acted. You showed up. That sleep hits different. And on the flip side, I feel guilty when I get in bed and I didn't go to the gym, even if nobody knows. Even if I had a reason. My body knows. It's like my body expects a certain level of exhaustion. Not burnout, just earned tired. Because the truth is, when you sit still too long, your mind starts getting loud in ways that don't help you. You start overthinking. You start doubting. You start replaying shit that don't matter. Motion quiets that. Not motivation. Not confidence. Not waiting on the right moment. Motion. I'm convinced that's gonna be the word of 2026. Not hustle. Not grind. Not vision boards. Just movement. Because you don't need clarity before you take a step. You don't need confidence before you start. You get those things after you start moving. So if life been feeling weird lately, stagnant, heavy, confusing, start with motion, even small motion, a walk, a rep, a task, a phone call, a step in the right direction. Stillness is good. Rest is necessary. but stay still too long, and your mind becomes your enemy. Anyways, this is where this scroll takes a turn. Somebody asked me my take on Diddy. This is just me thinking out loud. This ain't a verdict. This ain't court. This is Unc trying to understand human behavior. I think Diddy is a freak, a billionaire freak. And honestly, that part doesn't shock me. A freak gonna be a freak. Money don't cure that, it just removes the guardrails. What really shocks people is that once you reach a certain level of wealth and power, normal shit stops working. Regular pleasure don't hit the same. Everything is accessible, everything is instant. So the brain starts chasing taboo just to feel something again. That's not an excuse, that's an explanation. You see it with a lot of billionaires. Vince McMahon is a perfect example. That nigga was a billionaire and still got off on shitting on people. Literally. Shot on someone's head. That's not a metaphor. That's documented. When you've got everything, the thrill disappears, so the mind goes looking for extremes. Now where this shit turns evil is when power enters the equation. There's a difference between adults making choices and people being coerced. There's a difference between freaky and predatory. If success is locked behind humiliation, if opportunities are tied to submission, that's not consent, that's exploitation. Especially when it's man-on-man coercion. That's selling your soul. Straight up. Wanting fame so bad you let someone violate you against your will? You wanted that shit too much. Now listen, there are rare situations in life where desperation changes the math. And this is where I'm gonna say something wild, but honest. If a man got 17 kids, no house, they sleeping on top of a hill, no heat, no food, and one of his kids rolls down that hill in their sleep and gets hit by a car. Nigga. At that point, survival rules change. I'm not judging that man. Shit, if that nigga gotta get his back beat in to avoid another one of his kids getting ran over in his sleep, then shit, I guess that nigga gotta get his back beat in to avoid another one of his kids getting ran over. Sacrifices, nigga. I'm judging the system that put him there. When you backed into a corner that hard, morality becomes a luxury. Those niggas get a pass from me. That's survival, not greed. But everybody else? Nah. If you got a roof over your head and options on the table, don't sell yourself short for access. Don't trade your soul for proximity to power. Because once you cross that line, you don't come back clean. That stain don't wash off. And that's the thing about these billionaire scandals. It ain't really about sex. It's about power. It's about boredom mixed with entitlement. It's about people who stopped hearing no a long time ago. Money removes friction, and when friction disappears, character gets exposed. That's all I'm saying. I'm not shocked. I'm just paying attention. So here's where everything connects. At some point I looked back and realized, damn, I really did something every single day. Not perfectly, not clean, not confidently, but consistently. I've been posting since May, every day, besides when I was recovering from surgery. My thoughts, scrolls, rants, half-formed ideas, realizations, spirals, breakthroughs. And now I look up, and there's a whole universe. Deadass. You can spend hours in deep-fried logic and never hit the bottom. Not because I'm special, but because I documented motion. That's it. Most people think. Some people plan. Very few people move. For the longest time, I was a thinker. Full of ideas. Full of, this would be fire. Full of potential that never left my head. Ideas mean nothing if they never touch reality. A thought you don't act on might as well have never existed. And Unc was an accident. I didn't wake up one day and say, I'm gonna be Unc. I just started posting, and people started calling me that. Because I was older. Because I sounded reflective. Because I wasn't chasing trends. And next thing you know, people buying wristbands. Bro, that still trips me out. I remember packing my first order, printing a label, seeing deep-fried logic as the sender, writing a thank you note, signing my name. I had to stop for a second. Like, oh shit, this is real. Consistency is gasoline. That's all it is. If I quit in June because nobody was watching, none of this exists. And the scary part? Most people quit right before something starts forming. They never give the thing time to become itself. That's why I know I gotta keep going. Because if I keep immersing myself in this world, my standards naturally rise, my taste sharpens, my vision clarifies. That's how evolution works. And yeah, my parents think I'm a broke artist. They're not wrong, but they don't see the scaffolding. They don't see the foundation. They don't see the long game. When you're carving your own lane, you look crazy from the outside. You get comments. Advice you didn't ask for. People projecting their fear onto you. Why don't you just do this the normal way? Why don't you get something safe? Because safe kills certain souls. Some people are built for lanes. Some people are built to make roads. And road builders always look insane at first. This is why I'm not scared of hate. You can't succeed without being misunderstood. You can't stand out without being talked about. Every successful person has been dragged. Every single one. If you want universal approval, do nothing remarkable. And the wild part, most hate comes from people who aren't moving. You will never find a hater doing better than you. Ever. That's also why I'm optimistic about the future. I'm getting my braces off soon. I'm reconstructing my social life. I'm craving color again. Because you don't realize how black and white life gets until you add people back into it. Friends add color. Experiences add texture. Motion adds meaning. I've been thinking about forcing myself outside more. Long days, no hiding, just being in the world, eating lunch with friends, trying new spots, collecting stories. Because motion creates stories, and stories create identity. And before I wrap this, let me say this plainly. I don't care if you're a creator or not. This applies to everybody. Don't let your life become something you just consume. Create something. Food, article, music, workouts, businesses, connections. There is a deep satisfaction that comes from looking at something and saying, I made that. That's human. That's grounding. That's how you sleep good. So if there's a message in all this, it's not motivation. It's not hype. It's motion. Be a doer in 2026. Be a mover. Act before you feel ready. Because clarity comes after movement, not before. And as long as you're moving, you're alive. That's all I got for today. Do the right thing. Move your body. Move your mind. Build something. And don't stop. Because once you stop, your dreams stop. Unc loves you. Have a good day or night, nigga.